Hey everybody, guess what? It's time for that favorite podcast of mine. It's called Squares at the Round Table. Maybe you heard of it. And guess what? You're in it right now. And I'm Mike, and with me as usual is Jeff.
Hello.
And our special guest, who's normally not a guest, but he's a regular, but sometimes he's a guest. It's Ivan.
How's it going, man?
Go. Ivan the Goat. Not Ivan
All
the
right.
Great, just Ivan the Goat. Ivan the Goat.
How the hell are you?
I'm heckin' great, Ivan the Goat.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good.
All right,
Okay.
that joke's getting bad.
Yeah, it is. Okay. No, I'm doing good, man. Just, busy fucking around. It's Monday, and what can you do with a Monday?
I'm just curious. Is Julie okay with you fucking around?
Oh, yeah. She lets me do it all the time. Are you kidding? She trusts me.
Really?
Not. But you know how that goes. I just. Okay, come on. You know me as to be the most honorable man. I mean, yeah, sure, I have lewd, crude, and socially unacceptable thoughts maybe most often, but for the most of it, yeah, I'm a pretty honest dude.
How you been these last 2 weeks, my friend? How was your black and white night?
The black and white night was well attended. In the initial print up that I had of the DVD, okay, there were a few things that kind of bordered on. Yeah, kind of racy. So I had, and I got a word from Logan Arcade, from the big man himself, and he says, "Well, Ivan, you can't do this and you can't do this," which that told Ivan, well, I'm gonna have to take out at least 5 or 6 of these cartoons to rectify that request, which I did, and it was very well received. Everybody loved the Betty Boops, the Aesop Sound Fables, and several really good Felix the Cat sides. And then what I did afterwards was I went ahead and I DJ'd a series of really good big band swing and boogie woogie jazz for the remainder of the night.
Good. I'm glad it was a success.
Oh, it was cool, man. I mean, it was like the best time. You're sitting in a bar on a Monday night. You had a bunch of people that you dig, and they're all getting into it. In fact, when one of the cartoons came on, our friend Bo, he just jumped up in excitement. He goes, "That's my favorite cartoon." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that was great." So we're both singing and reciting the lines off the cartoon. It was awesome. It was really quite the bonding moment. So it was good. It was good.
Well, good. We're glad. Anything else you've been up to ever since? Like I said, you were here last week.
Okay, so all right. Now before the black and white night, I did the usual layback, way back, which I do on the first Sunday of the month. Which, for those of you who are interested, in the first Sunday of the month, come on down between 3 and 7, and I will be playing music of a bachelorette pad lounge mod flavor. So if you want to become 007 or you want to be a secret agent or you want to be a mod person, come on down on a Sunday afternoon, 3 to 7 at Logan Arcade, 2410.
What's a mod person?
Well, yeah.
Mod.
Okay, well, mod people, that's kind of the period in Canopy Street in England, in Europe,
Not
which
really.
was
England is in Europe?
Okay. Yeah, it's in Europe. The mod phase basically stems from the mid to late 1960s, where there was a very expressionistic situation. They were famous for the mini skirt. They were famous for a number of fashion plate styles that ended up coming here to America. And, and of course the name mod, which I guess was short for modern, just prevailed. So yeah, so that's what the definition of mod. So mod music, it's kind of a different style type of music. It's that type of music you would hear in like a spy movie or, something that had to do with the handsome bachelor guy or the, sensuous, bachelorette girl, that type of thing. So, so that's what I did on Sunday. And then Monday was black and white night. And then Thursday, I did Cafe Mustache. I also did Cafe Mustache on Saturday. So that was a couple of different things going on in those nights. And then Mathers on the Fridays for all of that situation. So, just
Did
busy.
anybody ask you for a request?
Yes, all the time. All the time. And,
Right.
and when they ask, I have the same, standard answer. It's just like, well, if I have it, I'll play it. Or if I don't have it, I go ahead and I'll try to get at you next time and have it on my person, which usually more times than not works out really well. And people smile and like, okay, well then keep doing your groovy thing. So, it's not like the,
Oh, but I got
that
it on my phone.
No,
What?
yeah, we've covered this in previous shows about
yeah, I know, but I'm just,
Ivan's pet peeves.
yeah, exactly. So as far as all the rest of that, yeah, everything else is groovy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
but they always do that. What else?
What's the weirdest request you've ever gotten?
The weirdest request I've ever gotten?
Yeah.
Okay, it would have to be, let me see. Oh yeah! Freebird in the middle of a dance set.
Okay.
Usually, when people are asking for Freebird, that's not a request. It's usually just
Yeah. It's more of a taunt,
Yeah.
but
No, they're usually just drunk.
Yeah, that too. I just want to be an asshole and kind of throw this in the middle of your set, bro.
So what else have you been up to?
Yeah.
Just been doing your DJ gigs? Any other events or attendings of things?
Well, I got a wedding that Julie and I, as Moonsoul Music, will be doing at the end of the month over at was that Northwestern University, honey? Oh, you don't? Okay, yeah, DePaul. Never mind. Yeah, it's DePaul. Yeah,
It's one of those colleges.
Okay.
One of those colleges.
One of those
There's
colleges.
no difference.
Yeah,
Well, anyway, this is why I keep her around too, because she keeps it straight.
That's why you keep me around.
Well, you know what I mean, darling. It's just one of those things where if left to my own devices, I'd be in bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Okay.
this is what keeps you straight? So, are you going to be hanging out on Pride Month?
I'm always hanging out on Pride Book. I don't get it.
Pride Month.
Oh. Well, I hung out in Pride Book. I found me out for Pride Month. I mean, heck, I went to my gig Saturday with my buttons and my Pride hat on.
Yeah. Don't run into. Do yourself a favor. Don't run into Alan Amber because he might still remember that time you played that Marines promo in the middle of his show.
All right, now I got to hear this whole story now. Was this a VVX story or is this a Weef or?
No, this is a VVX story.
Okay.
This is a VVX story.
Good.
So, this is before I started working with. Actually, no. Technically, it's an NDZ story. And this is before NDZ moved downtown, and I ended up, and eventually I ended up being the producer for Lesbian Gay Radio, which was amusing because they were also paying me on the side to do production work.
Because I know that you were big into that there, Jeff. I mean, for a lot, weren't you there for the entire duration of Lesbian Gay Radio?
No, I was there for I was with them for, I want to say, either 1 or 2 years, and then they moved to one of the other AMs, but they went to Afternoon Drive. They tried to get the other station to hire me to bring me in to do their show. That's how much they were on. But anyway, this is before I was on good terms with them, and I don't remember why. Ivan was filling in we were both filling in the morning, and so people were aware, Lesbian Gay Radio was, at the time in the 90s, the only gay, lesbian, transsexual, bisexual, anything having to do with that
Anywhere.
Anywhere in the country. So
It was a great show.
I can't remember why Alan, we had the owner of the show. He had his moods. He had a good guy, but he had his moods. And sometimes he would be really bitchy. I mean, when I knew him later on, I was able to sit there and say, "Dude, please tell me you got laid because you're being a pain in the ass." He was being really a pain in the butt, and I can't remember why. And he was being really snotty to you. And he did something, and I remember it too, because I was sitting there going, "Oh, that's not a good idea." And the next thing, and we're supposed to run, the station wants you to run has 2 minutes of commercials or 2 minutes of PSAs at the end of every hour. And one of the PSAs that we had available was for the Marines. And of course, this is the middle of the 90s when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was still kind of a thing. And people were still talking about that. So in the middle, Alan, I can't remember what Alan's talking about, but something really kind of very heartfelt about the gay community. And then Ivan goes straight into the Marines promo. Not promo, and for PSA. And he wanted to kill Ivan. I mean, I'm watching this. I'm in the other room. I'm just dying because the look on this guy's face and the look Ivan had where he's trying not to laugh. And the two of them, and he looks like he's about ready to kill Ivan. And I'm, oh man, this is gonna be bad.
What?
This is gonna be bad.
What did he? When it was over, what did he say to you, Ivan?
I can tell you what he said. I remember that. I remember it. Ivan doesn't, but I remember it. He's like, never play that on my show again.
Oh my gosh. One of my many mischievous triumphs.
And then because he was on break, and he stormed out of the studio for a little bit, and the two of us just busted out of laughter.
Yeah.
And the funny part was, I understand his point where he's coming from, and in hindsight, yeah, it wasn't the right thing to do.
Okay, yeah, all right. In hindsight, it was me.
And
but...
it was probably not the right thing to do. At the same time, he was pissing you and me off like left and right that morning, acting like a prima donna pain in the ass. And
oh my God, the guy was just unending, man. It was like,
I think his boyfriend was with him at the time, and
his boyfriend was with him. Yeah,
and then they basically are making out in the middle of the freaking studio, and we're like, and we're both like, okay, man, come on, stop it. It was funny.
It was like, I think I went, dude.
And it was like, Alan's like, you wouldn't be saying this if it was a guy and a girl. I said, actually, yeah, I would be saying if it was a guy and a girl. This isn't a place for it. It's a place of business.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
No, absolutely.
What'd you say?
He was like, well, what if it was two? He was like, what if it was two lesbians? I'm like, as much as I'd like to see that, I'd still tell them that you're not supposed to.
It's get a room, man.
But,
oh my God. That was some bad shit back in those days, man. You know, I mean, the fact that we were transitioning from cards to the Orban system, you know, you're pressing the 4 buttons. We had our choice of anything. I'm not saying when you can, but not saying that you should. But in the same time, yeah, the guy pissed me off. Sorry.
Did I tell you about the day he almost got me killed?
No. What?
Okay. So, and it's funny, I'm probably going to tell this story on Facebook Live later this week. Okay, so, this is like at the time around when Ellen had just come out, and she had that Ellen sitcom show. And the gay community had kind of really rallied around it, and I understand you want to have a gay show on TV. Okay, fine. It's not like today where it's like, wow, gay is just everywhere now. But at the time, that wasn't the case. And he is just on, the host is just on this giant rant. And the worst is, since he's the owner, it's not like I can stop him. Because I'm sitting there, and I'm doing the break sign, because it's like, there are all these commercials. And I'm like sitting there, it's like, fine, you don't want to get paid? I don't care. This is not my problem. This is your problem. I mean, like when I say he's not getting paid, I can't remember what bank he had at the time. He had Miller Lite, he had Miller, and I'm like, dude, we were supposed to have taken a break like 10 minutes ago, and I'm like, it was funny too because one time he did that, and he's like, why are we on a 5-minute commercial break? I'm like, because you blew through every commercial break we had. I gotta arrow this shit now before we run out of time.
Were you doing the nonverbal kind of like cut it short kind of?
Yeah, and he's giving me a dirty look. Well, he owns the show. Am I supposed to like, the worst part is, at the time, I'm doing production work for him, so he's also paying me on the side for stuff. So I'm kind of like, okay, I don't want to piss him off, but I'm like, okay, this is yours. It's like, you don't want to get paid? Okay, that's fine, but we got to run commercials. So he finally takes the break sign, and he was on this long diatribe, and it was really, really long and really, really, really bad. And I'm sitting there, and we're in the middle of the commercial break, and I just was like, it's not funny. He's like, what? I said, the show's not funny. I said,
Ellen.
if it was funny, people would watch. And I said, I'll take it a step. I said, the only person who was funny in that show at the time was Jeremy Piven, who was just breaking in. And I'm like, I said, I'll take it one step further. I'll tell you right now, if Ellen looked like Heather Locklear, that show would be the #1 show in the country. And there's silence about, like, this level of silence.
Right.
Wow.
And then Alan looks at me, he goes, when we come from break, you're going to say that on the air. What? You're going to say that on the air? No, I'm not. Why not? Because I don't want to die.
Tried to put you on the spot, man.
He's like, oh, nobody's coming. Nobody knows how to get to the station. I'm like, are you crazy? I got to answer those phones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just do it. He's like, just do it. It'll be good. I'm like, and you know me, I'm like, well, it is airtime.
Yeah.
So I did it. And phones light up.
And the pitchforks come for Jeff.
Oh!
Along with the
worst part is, small station, nobody screens calls but Jeff.
Did you get anybody from corporate calling you too?
No, they didn't care.
Those are just angry callers.
Just angry as hell gay people who are like,
wow.
You gotta be but a bleepity. I'm like, if you're gonna say that on air, I can't put you on. I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I can't put you on if you say that. I especially couldn't put them on because we didn't have a delay.
Nope.
Okay. But it was funny because some of them were like, well, I'm gonna find. I was like, okay. But.
Mm-hmm.
I walked out of that building, I'm like, I better look both ways just to make sure I don't get killed.
Yeah.
But,
somebody come after you with their purse,
So happy Pride Month to our listeners.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
Well, but back in that time and place, those were some very brave things that Les Gay was doing, okay? Yeah. I mean, in the all seriousness of it, yeah, I mean, that literally took chutzpah, using, a great word, to actually do what they got to do, what you actually got to do. And I mean, in the 90s where...
In the cough 90s.
Cough
90s. Yeah, exactly. The 90s where it was just, people just had all different types of attitude towards things. Not like today where, we got Gay Pride Month.
Yeah.
And it was, from Gay Pride Weekend to Gay Pride Month, okay? We got rainbow-colored crosswalks. We got rainbow-colored trains. Everybody on the corporate sensibility has got some kind of Gay Pride sensibility product or merchandising out there. It's a bonanza.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. And it's like, even on like TV now, it's like, oh, gay character, whatever. Nobody is like, I remember back in the day when, like, what's his name? That one guy who was on Heroes,
Zachary
was
Quinto?
on Dynasty. No, not Greg. No, the guy with the blonde hair, the guy with the glasses. He was on Dynasty for a while, and he was like the first openly gay character on any network TV show or something like that.
Oh, well, it goes back to Soap.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Maybe it goes that far back too. But I mean, I remember that was like a big deal in the 80s. Oh, gay TV, and like, whoa. Everybody was like nuts, but
wasn't there also? There was another gay character that ended up going with Tammy Baker for a while.
I know who Jim J. Bullock.
You know who I'm talking about. I can't. It's Jay something.
Jim J. Bullock.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
The guy from
Too Close for Comfort.
Too Close for Comfort. Yeah.
Plus for comfort, yeah.
Yeah. My biggest complaint about that show when I was working with them is that the women would come on that show, and I'm just figuring I'm just gonna, we're talking, we're chatty, we flirt a little bit, and the problem is I'm just assuming that all of the ones that I'm flirting with are lesbians, so I've got no shot. And the problem is I wouldn't find out that they weren't lesbians until after they were gone, and someone would go, "Hey, they were straight." And you waited to tell me this after they left?
Poor Jeff.
After you left. And they're like, my favorite was the one time it's late on a Friday morning, and they brought in this poetry reading or some sort of troupe, and they're reading like E.E. Cummings stuff. And I swear to God, this woman was reading this stuff, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh God. Thank God there's a table, and nobody can see.
You get vapors?
Your manhood has been challenged.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm really glad there's a table. Nobody can see anything. I'm like, oh my God. And it was funny, because like afterwards we're kind of flirting around. And just as like the door opens, one of the guys, real nice guy, he liked house music, actually was a football fan. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't know how it came up that she's straight. And I'm looking at him going, and you didn't think that, and the rest is, I'm like, and you didn't think to tell me this? You didn't think to tell me this? And you know what his exact response is? He goes, "Why? I'm not interested."
Well. Well.
Excuse me?
I'm like, you're a dick. I'm like, and he's like, what? And actually, his answer was just that. He's like, what? I'm like, what do you mean, what? Okay, new rule. If they're straight, you gotta tell me.
So that at least I can give my phone number out, okay?
Yeah, so at least I got she was a
at least I got a shot at it.
I could have had a shot at that. I'm like, it was like, you, and the best is, it's like, okay, how do I
poor
get...
Jeff has been denied of me of happiness several times over. I feel bad.
You know what the worst part is? This happened more than once. This happened like multiple times. Where like, it's like, didn't I tell you? No, that was so and so. Oh, shit. I had to like put out like an edict to like the entire... By the time they finally remembered all this shit was like when they were leaving. And I'm like, you guys suck. You guys suck. I put this out on Facebook Live today, so I can talk about this one. So, the other thing, I will tell you that Alan Amberg ruined my lifelong dream.
And that was?
Going to strip club with lesbians.
Oh.
I was at, so the night before, it was, for some strange reason, my buddy had his bachelor party, and I was one of the groomsmen, but we had it on a weekday. And
the wedding was on a weekday, or the bachelor party was a weekday?
The bachelor party was on the weekday.
Oh, okay.
And
bachelor party story.
We didn't get done with the party until like 1 or 2 in the morning. And I could drive, but I had drank quite a bit, and I was definitely, and the problem was by the time I got home, I was going to literally have to pretty much turn around and then go open the station at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, screw it. I think I had a spare set of clothes in my car, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to just go straight there and park. So normally when they would do the morning show that was by Gay Show, usually it was a man and a woman, or usually it was 2 guys. Up until that point, I had never had a scenario where it was 2 women until that day.
And the gears started turning.
So the 2 of them, and I like both of them. They're really nice, and they're just talking in general, talking on the show, and literally they're looking at me, and I look like death. I look like death behind the board, and they're like, our producer Jeff Stein looks like absolute garbage. What happened to you? I said, I was at a bachelor party last night, and I'm really hungover, and I'm still not over the strippers. And they said, oh, strippers! And I said, yeah, strippers. And I'm like, they weren't even that good as strippers, and we should have gone to, I think I said we should have gone to Heavenly Bodies, and they're like, oh, I've never been to Heavenly Bodies. Oh, me neither. I'm like, and me not thinking about it, like, I've been there a bunch of times. It's a really nice club. It's really pretty. You should go sometime. And they're like, yeah, we should. And I'm like, yeah, you should. You really should. And then they're like, and then I don't know how we got here. And they're like, yeah, I think I mentioned it in general. I'm like, yeah, the three of us should go sometime. And they're like, and the two of them are like, we should. And I'm kind of sitting there going, okay, this is probably just a bit. And I'm thinking about it, and then one of them goes, oh, no, you know what? We could really make a thing of this. And I'm like, come on, really? And they're like, no, seriously, we could get it, somebody to sponsor it, we could go to a strip club. And it's like us and the straight guy, and we could have a whole bunch of lesbians come with. And I'm like sitting there going, wait. Let me see if I got this right. Me, the straight producer, and a whole bunch of lesbians going to a strip club, and we're going to make this a thing. Yes. I'm all in. I'm like, I'm sitting there going, and I'm like, oh my God, really? This is like my lifelong dream.
Mm-hmm.
And the best is the phones light up, and all of the women who listen to the show are like, oh my God, yeah, that sounds like fun, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, this could really happen. This could really happen. And then freaking Alan calls. What do you think you're doing? That's the end of that.
Never start anything doesn't start good then.
Mm-mm. Yep. This is what's called cock blocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, yep, that got kiboshed. We never heard about it again. We had to move on to the next segment.
Womp womp.
Yep. And Jeff's lifelong dream of going to a strip club with lesbians was over.
But instead of adventures that you didn't occur, what adventures have you been on this week, Jeff?
Let's see. Well, I was out at Laugh Out Loud on Friday night at this dumb city, and I did. So it was crazy. They had me do a story, and then they did 20 minutes of improv based on the story that I did, and that was actually pretty good.
Cool.
And they're doing it next week too. It's different storytellers. They usually have 2 to 3 storytellers each time, and what they'll do is they then interpret the story. Again, this is called This Dumb City. I'll be honest, the attendance was not great, but it was a lot of fun, and it was at Laugh Out Loud Chicago, and it's a major venue. So there's that, and then other than that, I think that's the big one. That's kind of the big thing at the moment. Other than that, I'm kind of, it's been kind of a little on the slow side. I am looking for some more storytelling stuff and whatnot to do upcoming. And I don't think I saw any. I didn't get to the movies this week, so whatever. And it's been, I don't know. I hate to say it. It's been kind of slow. It's been like, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but it's like okay, there's really no TV. Really don't feel like going to the movies. I don't really have a ton of going on right now. And it's like the weather keeps going on this, like, 1 minute it's like it's nice, and the next minute you go outside and then it's absolute grade A dog shit. And it's like, okay, can somebody make up their mind? It's already almost mid-June. Can we have summer now, please? Please? I don't know.
We're having some 70-degree days.
It's comfortable. It was comfortable today. Today was really nice.
Yeah, and then just in time, 70-degree days, just in time for when the rain shows up.
Well, the rain, I think we're supposed to rain tomorrow night into Wednesday.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Every time I turn around.
Life, some rain must fall.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Too much is falling in mine.
So, yeah. But, and then, like I said, I've been doing a bunch of Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna. Before we get to Mike, I do have a question for you guys. I found this on the Facebook, I wanted to bring this up last week, but Ivan wasn't here because I wanted to get his reaction to this. Okay, to both of you.
Okay.
If I gave you guys $10 million right now, but here's the catch: there is a snail that is chasing you for the rest of your life, and if it touches you, you die a terrible death. The snail cannot be killed. It knows your location at all times. Its only purpose is to find you. Are you taking the $10 million?
Yes, I'm moving to Hawaii.
Okay.
No.
Why not?
Why not, Ivan?
There's no, because there's no peace of mind if you get that kind of money. Yeah, sure. $10 million. Okay? But to trade in your peace of mind, your freedom, your security, your sensibilities. I mean, there's no price tag that can outvalue that sensibility. No, I wouldn't sell my integrity for $10 million.
Integrity has nothing to do with integrity. It's a snail.
Yeah, it's a snail.
Yeah, but it's a snail. And if
the snail will kill you if it finds you. It can't find you if you travel over an ocean.
Well, that makes you think that if it can't be killed, then that snail could swim over to Hawaii.
No, the snail can't swim.
Or
it's
float, or whatever the hell a snail does.
Or does the snail, I don't know, does the snail have enough brains to get on a plane and stow away in a plane?
No,
I have no idea.
To Honolulu,
but
and then
I have no idea.
If a snail lives in water, what makes you think that snail isn't going to hitch a ride with one of those turtles and go floating
across the Pacific
Ocean?
Ocean?
Yeah, well, you know what? Anything can happen. I mean, I'm no oceanographer or nothing like that. I don't have factor or any of that shit. I'm just saying that, okay, what if?
I'm no oceanographer.
I would live in my mansion with salt sprinkled, like a salt moat around my mansion in Hawaii. So,
yeah, well,
assuming it can cross the ocean, I'm going to live in my mansion that's surrounded by a moat of salt. So when it hits the salt, the snail's going to die.
Ivan, I want to give you perspective.
But it couldn't die, though. So that means that doesn't hold water if you've got the salt there.
Ivan,
if it can't die.
Just so you're aware, a snail can travel approximately 66 inches per minute. I'm sorry, not 66, 0.66 inches. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
0.66 inches per minute.
That's a pretty fast animal.
That's
0.66?
Oh, 0.66. I thought you said, never mind. I didn't hear the whole number.
That's 5/8 of an inch per minute. So how many days would it take to get to O'Hare and fly to wherever I am in the world and find me? Nope. Nobody, nope. No problem at all. Snail, F you. I'm going to live with my $10 million.
Your average garden snail moves at 0.029 miles per hour.
Yes. I got no troubles. I'll have plenty of time to spend my money. I'll have 20 years of living the good life. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just curious.
I did the math.
Your rationale as to why you said no. Because there's things like, if you were asleep and it showed up, you're fucked.
Yeah, but it depends on, do I know where the snail is the minute I get the money and then I can, run?
Yeah.
Or what? I'll tell you what. I'll get me a red Solo cup and put a red Solo cup over the snail. And there.
Oh, I saw answers that were even crazier than that. Okay. Yeah. I get a jar. I scoop up the snail. I put him in the jar. He travels with me everywhere. He doesn't leave the jar.
Ever. Right. Yeah. Put him in your snail aquarium. That's under lock and key. No problem whatsoever. Give me my $10 million, please. There.
Personally,
end of story. End of subject.
Personally, I'd take the damn thing and I'd drop it in the ocean.
Yeah.
And sayonara, snail boy.
So long. Sayonara, bub.
Yeah. Sayonara, Snail Boy. All right, Mike. What else? What do you got going on?
Well, I saw 2 movies this last week. Saw Rocketman.
Oh, yeah?
And I liked it a lot. Unfortunately, now I can't get an Elton John song out of my head. I still haven't been able to get out of my head since Wednesday. But other than that, no, it was good. I enjoyed it very much. It was a very good story. It was done in a musical style. That's the problem, is that people are comparing it to Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's not.
Oh, shit.
It's not. It's a musical type biographical film. But the thing is that a lot of these stories now, they start like towards the end, and then the rest of the movie is a big flashback. It's like they did it with Ray. They did it with Walk the Line. Did they do it? Yeah, they kind of did it with Bohemian Rhapsody, because they
did.
They open it with him walking on the stage at Live Aid, and then the rest of the movie is just one big flashback leading up to that. And that was the problem with like the James Brown movie. I would love to see that movie recut. It was just in chronological order and not just jumping around like kind of manic like that. But no, it was really good. The music was great. I mean, there were so many great songs that he and Bernie had written. Like, Elton was good on the piano. I mean, he was exceptional on the piano. But he couldn't write the words. So that's what Bernie was for. Bernie would write words, write like poems and stuff, and Elton would put him in front of the piano, and he'd compose music to go with the words. It was wonderful. It was great. And it was a great performance. I'm sure the guy's going to be up for an Oscar for portrayal of Elton John. He was great. He did all the singing too. So
that's well, yeah. He's the guy he's the guy from Kingsman.
Yeah, wasn't he? Taron Egerton.
Yeah, and then he's the guy who was in Sing and had already done.
Yeah, he was the monkey,
gorilla.
the gorilla guy.
He's the
yeah,
gorilla.
Yeah,
where he's singing "I'm Still Standing." So he's already had it. He's already done singing, and ironically, an Elton John.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And Elton John was an executive producer. He had a big say in it. And it was really good. I'm sure it was good therapy for Elton to create, to tell his story like this,
So let me ask you a question. On something like that, do they get into how he ended up working with Disney at all, or do they stay away from stuff like that?
With Disney? No, they didn't do anything about The Lion King.
Okay.
The movie starts with him walking into rehab, and then they have a musical number. They sing "The Bitch Is Back," and it goes all the way back to his childhood and his mother and his dysfunctional family. His grandma.
I'm assuming they don't get into the whole him Tina Turner thing.
No,
where they had the big spat. No, okay.
No, they did. Curious. That was the one duet he did with who was that? Oh, forget the name of the song, but it was anyway. But no, they don't do the rivalries and all that. Just focused on his musical career and his skyrocketing to stardom, and then falling into the trap of the drugs and the sex and all that. But no, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'd say 4 out of 5 yeah-mans. But given the choice between the two, I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody more. But the music was still really good. I mean, they did some really great songs. You don't realize I've heard these songs my whole life.
Yeah.
And now when you hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was also Elton. Yeah.
Well, my thoughts on that were okay. You were talking about the partner. Well, I think that was Kiki D. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Is that the one?
That was Bernie Taupin.
Oh, I know Bernie Taupin wrote all the lyrics and everything like that. But did they go into Elton John and Kiki D at all? I mean, they had a duet together. Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Yeah, that was it. Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
I couldn't if I tried.
Yeah, Rachel Muldoon. Yeah, and they had like a marriage that lasted like 5 minutes.
Him and Kiki D?
Kiki D, yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was another producer. But no, Kiki D was, they just did the duet. But I know he married after he broke up with that one guy, the bad evil manager of his, John Reed.
Okay.
Yeah, he married another woman, and that lasted, like I said, like for only a very short time, and he regretted the decision. It was almost a bad decision from the start.
I see. And then, of course, and what seems to be the fashion of motion pictures, especially dealing with music, about, starting at the end and working back to the beginning.
Yeah.
For the most part, that may, work in some, but it seems like it's been getting into overuse as of late.
Yeah.
Then, of course, to reiterate your point on James Brown, had that been a chronological order movie, then that might have been a better thing than having jumped around in multiple directions with multiple of other people that worked with James Brown in the movie.
I agree.
So as far as Elton John was concerned, I guess John Reed was about the time he was just getting picked up by Universal, like in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yep.
And then I think after Elton transitioned, to when it turned to MCA, and then that's when he started having like Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Island Girl, then of course Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and then Candle in the Wind, which of course everybody knows that big hurrah.
Well, they did just touch upon Candle in the Wind because he plays some music for a guy, and he goes to the record label and he's like, "Yeah, I can do songs, but I can't write words." And so the guy handed him a piece of paper, and you meet this guy. He's good with words, and that's how he met Bernie. We're just here. You should meet this person. There's a good lyricist.
Bernie Taupin. Weren't Bernie Taupin and weren't they involved? Elton John and Bernie Taupin?
No, they were never lovers. They were just brothers. Pretty much. He's like, there one time Elton made the moves on him, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not into that. I support you." But
okay, all right, then that kind of dispelled a whole bunch of stuff that was in the magazines at the time, because that was like the major assumption by the consensus of people who knew Elton John. They thought that they were lovers.
He and Bernie, but nope.
So that went around for.
No, they were. He was the brother he never had.
Yeah, okay, well then, okay, great. Well, a lot of people thought that. Me, myself, that was during a time I was still a young teenager. I was naive. So it's just like, oh man, words and music, cool. So, and then reading about it later, and then now finding out, that was never the case, it's an eye-opener.
It's funny, I remember seeing Elton John, I can't remember if it was late 80s or I can't remember which. But it was funny because, God, it was at the now defunct Poplar Creek.
Out
off in Hoffman Estates. And it was funny because
was that the
I didn't bring any pot, but everybody else did. I didn't need to bring any because the contact was great.
Mm-hmm. My sisters actually saw Elton John. No, they saw George Michael in concert, and that was when they did the live video of "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me." My sisters were in the crowd. If you saw that video on MTV of that live version.
Oh, really?
They were in that crowd, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So they were like, as soon as this trailer dropped, they said, "Oh, we need to go see this."
So do they talk a little bit?
No, they do not talk about George Michael.
I assume they don't. Do they even talk about Princess Diana? Because that's a big.
No, they didn't either.
Yeah, that was also the rewrite of "Candle in the Wind." He did a version for her.
Yeah, he did not. No, they didn't touch about that. They end the movie with "I'm Still Standing," where he gets out of rehab and he records that song where he's back, and it's sort of like a remaking of the '80s music video from "I'm Still Standing."
Wow, that's.
I'm still standing, better than I ever did.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. Yes, we know the song. I've been hearing it in my head for 5 days.
I was going to wait.
I can't help it. It's a great song, and the whole concert is it's really good.
Yeah, it is very good. But when it's stuck in your head for 5 days, you want to hit yourself in the head with a hammer.
Well, and it's funny because that's the song that, like I said, that's the song that Taron Egerton does in Sing. When
yeah.
he plays the gorilla.
Yeah.
So it's not like he hasn't done that song before. So
Right.
it's kind of funny that, here's the irony. It's like, okay, here was your to get the role.
I bet you any money somebody had their eyes out or eyes and ears on and heard him do that and said, yeah, that could be the cat that could do it.
Yeah, he was a great job. And the guy did his great. The guy had a great performance as Elton John, too. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. What was I going to... Where was I going to... There was something I was going to ask you about this, but...
About Rocketman?
Rocketman! So I'm Still Standing is the song that's stuck in your head, huh?
Yeah, for 5 days. It's been great. Thank you.
Remind me to send you the gorilla version.
I saw the movie. Actually, it was over the winter. I finally saw Sing.
That's a good movie.
I never saw Sing.
Oh, you'd love it, Ivan. It has
the
animals
That's a good movie.
and singing and
there's-
songs.
I like singing.
They're working on a sequel, too.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good movie. It really is. That's a lot of fun. If you can get a chance to see it. That's
Yeah, you need to go rent Sing. You tell you and Julie you need to make a date of it. And go watch Sing. I'm sure it's on Netflix.
All right.
Well, it's somewhere, but yeah, I don't know if it's these days. Who knows?
So getting around to my other movie, the controversy over X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, you might have been one of the only people.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jeff?
You might have been one of the only people to see it.
Why?
Well, it was severely underperformed in the box office this weekend.
Oh, Ivan saw it too. Oh, yeah, really? I'm the only one who hasn't seen it?
Ivan, why didn't you say you saw this when you were doing what we're asking what you did the last 2 weeks?
Because I just thought about it.
He forgot he saw it, I guess. Anyway, so Ivan,
do I need to back out for a little while because you talking spoilers? Because I don't know if I'm even get a chance to see it next week.
Well, I mean, you saw X3. You know this isn't going to end well for Gene.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know that
I'm not going to give any spoilers.
Yeah.
But it was, because I really, really liked Days of Future Past, and I did not see Apocalypse. I've only seen bits and pieces on cable, so I've just heard it was bad. So I didn't see it in the theater.
I saw Days of Future Past. That I saw at the.
Yeah, I like Days.
I saw Apocalypse, and I remember the last hour just being like, "Oh God, when does this end?" I will say that in seeing it on TV, it's not as bad as when I was sitting in the theater going, "Good God, when is this end?"
Mm-hmm. I'll just say off the bat that this is not X3 terrible. It was just a couple of plot points are dumb, and it's just so predictable because we know that she has these, uncontrollable powers. And then compounded by absorbing this energy. You saw in the trailer how she absorbs this energy from this. They're trying to rescue the space shuttle crew. And she absorbs this like solar flare or something like that. Some kind of strange energy.
Solar flare.
Yeah, that's what they call it. But it's just like some energy that these aliens had tracked when it destroyed their home. But anyway. But... yeah, I said there were some great character moments because we're invested after First Class and Days of Future Past. The relationships between Eric and Charles Xavier, and how she goes back to how after Apocalypse, Eric's kind of done. He just wants to live a peaceful life. So
yeah, that would be the second time because at the beginning of Apocalypse, he's like.
Yeah.
He's like, because I can see this now. It's been long enough. I mean, the beginning of Apocalypse, he's living. I can't remember who he is, but he's got a wife and he's got kids, and nobody knows who he is. And then I can't remember how they figure it out, and they get killed, and that's how he turns.
Oh,
and he goes to work with Apocalypse. But yeah, so it doesn't shock me that here we go again.
Well, he's living. I don't know if it's the actual Brotherhood, but he's living with these other mutants on this land. That he's just simple life, kind of away from civilization. But Yeah, it was just not that bad. It's not as bad as what they're portraying it as. There were some, like I said, there were some plot points that were pretty dumb. How, like, the government turns on them after one little incident. But
yeah, I thought that was I think that was a little, little itchy trigger finger action on that whole thing.
But I was seeing it through the lens of, like, reading it as a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like just letting it play out as an alternate story, alternate reality story or whatever. But it was just all right. I liked the final fight. The final battle was good on the train. You see that in the trailer too, where they got the neck braces that restrict their mutant powers. We saw that in Deadpool 2.
Right.
And how the bad guys are these aliens that show up. But no, it was just okay.
Almost invisible force of aliens.
Aliens, the Shahar, you mean?
No,
I mean, they just kept coming at them, man. Shot them full of holes and stuff, and they just kept right on going like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, like I said, I'm curious. I will say they did do a little bit of promotion for this. Disney did. Because at that point it was already on the docket, and I think they thought they were going to do okay. But you can tell that like, I mean today, I'm looking at today, which would be Monday while we're recording. I'm looking at all the entertainment sites, and they're just burying this thing.
Yeah,
I mean just burying it, and I'm like, wow, really?
Well, they're saying this. There have been how many? Let's see. How many X-Men movies?
Oh, God. So there were the first 3, right?
There's X1, 2, and 3, and then if you count, like, X-Men Origins, all the Wolverine movies.
There's 3 Wolverine movies.
And if you count Deadpool 1 and 2, because those have X-Men in it.
Yeah.
So, safely we could say 15?
Hold on, wait. So there was 3... No, there was 4. The X-Men Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix is 4. So that's 4. You had Wolverine, and you had the Wolverine trilogy, and you had the original X-Men trilogy.
And Logan.
There right there is 10. So about 12.
But yeah, there's an article in the Hollywood Reporter today about how the Fox writers and they're saying like they were wrong. They miscalculated after Apocalypse because Apocalypse was, in their eyes, just an anomaly. Oh, it's like an X-Men ability. Do fine. But the thing is also we have James Cameron to blame because he wanted Alita. Originally, Alita Battle Angel was to come out in December. But because of, Mary Poppins Returns and Aquaman and Bumblebee, he moved Alita to February, which means that Dark Phoenix had to be moved again.
Oh, was Dark Phoenix supposed to be a February?
There were 3 release date bumps for X-Men Dark Phoenix. And we still haven't had, we don't have New Mutants yet.
We're not going to. I imagine that will, if that gets released, I would not be shocked if it's going to be a DVD or a Disney, depending on, or a Hulu exclusive, or maybe they'll put it out. I don't know, but they keep bumping it, so it makes me think that that's not coming
If this
out.
movie is any metric for that, I think we're not going to see it on a big screen.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean.
I say I give this Dark Phoenix 3 out of 5 Yamans just for the action and the character stories. But like I said, the plot points were dumb and it was just predictable. It wasn't slow for me. It didn't I wasn't looking at my watch. But man, what do you say, Ivan? What do you think about it, Ivan?
Well, I think it ran at a pretty good pace. Yeah. I'm not as knowledgeable as you are about the whole X-Men franchise, but the thing about it is, to me, as a person from that, as using your term, looking through my own lens, it just came down to it. It was a good movie because there was enough action in there, kept me interested. I wasn't as familiar with the internal story as maybe you are, but for me, it made for entertainment. the characters were really cool. The special effects, just the fact that you're sitting there, you're going, oh my God, and you're like watching, good against evil, but in a somewhat over the top way in many points. But yeah, as far as some of the other things that are more, more close to the story, I'm not as, like I said, I'm not as privy because I haven't followed the comic books. So I'm watching this as a standalone entity. I did watch Days of Futures Past, though. I was very impressed with that. Did not watch the other movie, though. And for me, I guess, good, if you don't mind, good older kids, for that type of, movie and such. Yeah, for adults, I don't know, unless you're in the know of it. I think it would hold.
I'd have to say it was just as good as First Class for me. It's like, because you're introduced to these new characters playing Charles and Magneto. So, but now man, like I said, I haven't seen Apocalypse, so I don't care to anyway. So, but it's not as bad as the media is playing it out to be.
Well, like I said, there are a couple, like I said, this is an example of where the other part is once, I hate to say politics, but some of this is the business part of it too, which is
the Fox-Disney merger.
Right, which is the Fox-Disney merger. And Disney, while, yes, this is technically money for them, and it's not a real Marvel movie for them, and they can play that off, and they really did that.
They weren't as involved in it?
Well, it's like, it's okay. This is the last of the slate. We're getting rid of all these movies, and then we're going to reset everything. And everybody knows that's coming.
We'll see in a couple of years. We'll see the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in the MCU eventually, because now it's theirs.
Yeah. Well, and the other, it's funny because here comes the real question, which is, okay, now we're at a point where the X-Men, all the X-Men movies are pretty much done. All right, Deadpool 2 made a lot of money. All right, what's the plan? Are we getting there was talk about an X-Force movie instead of a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's happening or not. I have no idea if that's going to come to fruition or how that works or what's going to happen with that.
And my only thing is that Ryan Reynolds only agreed to the PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2 because all the money went to charity.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Ryan Reynolds would be in for a PG-13 Deadpool 3.
Well, that's gonna be, and you get mixed messages about. Well, I don't think they know what they're doing with it yet, because they certainly don't want to lose Ryan Reynolds. They certainly don't want to lose this franchise yet. Deadpool has been put back. Deadpool wasn't on the map before this, and he is. He's more on the map now than he ever was. So come on, they're going to do that. I think the other thing that was interesting is I don't know if you caught this, Mike. As long as we're talking about X-Men, so apparently the writers from the '90s the '90s cartoon series, the one from Fox Kids back in the day, have approached Disney that they want to do a new X-Men cartoon.
Yes. And I liked X-Men Evolution.
I did too.
It was just good, good turn your brain off, fun storytelling.
This wasn't that one. This is the one before
No, the old 90s cartoon. I know what you're talking about.
Right. That one. Which like a lot of fans who are real hardcore X-Men fans, sometimes they're like, that was better than any of the movies. That was more close to anything that we've ever seen to what we needed to see. So it's interesting that those guys came back and said to Disney, "Hey, we'd like to do this." I don't know if that'll happen or not.
Well, would it be awesome if it did?
Well, I think it's just.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's like a typical story. Like, hey, these people want to reboot this, and these people want to bring that back. And remember that thing from the 90s that was super popular, and the people like it now? Hey, they want to do that again. I mean,
well, the other thing
nice,
is too, animation changed a ton too now. So it's like you're gonna have, and some of those characters have changed quite a bit. So it's not like you can just start from there. There's been quite a few changes. There's quite a few new characters. You'd have to, and there's been some newer stories since that time frame. I'm not saying no.
Did we talk about the petition to recast Wolverine?
Yeah, no. See, this is where shit gets stupid.
Stupid fan petitions.
Okay.
Like after the aftermath of Game of Thrones and Although I would watch a Saturday Night Live skit.
Game of Thrones is done.
I'd watch an SNL skit of Danny DeVito's Wolverine, but that's about it.
Okay.
That's like, I guess that was like a joke one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, it's like, the sad part is it's like, here's the problem with the joke one. Then it starts to get publicized, and then certain people just start to pile on, and it's like, you know what? And then the worst part is, there's some fucking exec who doesn't know shit about the culture or what's going on.
Yeah, they don't know what irony is.
Right, and they don't, right, exactly. They don't know what irony is. And somebody's going to walk up to them and go, these fucking kids want to see Danny DeVito as Wolverine. No, we really don't. But
Mr. CEO, sir, that's a joke on the internet. It's not real. It doesn't matter.
You know,
but it has 20,000 signatures. Come on, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
yeah, you can.
They can't see through their $1,000 suits.
Yeah,
Can't see their rose-colored glasses.
Right.
Can we get a petition to stop petitions?
Yes. Saw another fan petition to bring back Iron Man from the dead. Like, no.
How many times are we going to do Iron Man now?
Well, here's the thing.
We're not.
Actually, no. It doesn't say it's Iron Man. They want
bring
Tony
back
Stark
Robert
back.
Downey Jr.
Right.
As Tony.
Right.
Yeah.
It was funny because
he did.
I went past
He did.
Oh, zombie Robert Downey. That'd be good. I'm good for that. You could make him animatronic or something. All you have to. But it was funny because I was curious if the petition says bring back Iron Man or bring back Tony Stark.
Robert Downey Jr.
It says bring back Tony Stark because I was like, oh, well, that's real simple. We'll put Rhodey in the suit because that's happened. Voila, Iron Man.
Huzzah! Ta-da! Yeah.
Or we'll bring in Riri Williams. Voila, Iron Man. There you go.
Well, actually, Riri Williams is Ironheart.
Originally, she was Iron Man at one point.
Yeah,
she was Iron Man at one point.
Okay.
But anyway. Right. Yeah, I know. All right. On page 155
of issue 29
of volume 5273,
page 14, and the next the splash page.
Yep.
Panel 2.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Did you get is that the one with the holographic color? Because the one with the holographic color is different than the other one.
That reminds me, I gotta make one more trip to the comic book store before it closes down.
Did you get anything good lately?
No, I haven't. I still haven't read Kingdom Come.
Okay.
But that's on the docket. It's on the top of my dresser here, so.
No, hey, that's
a good read, I'm told.
I'm trying to think of what else.
Oh, and of course, this Wednesday is the season 2 premiere of Krypton, so.
Yeah. Well, no, I was funny. As long as we're talking about, I'm like, I don't know what they have currently still available because I could. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some stuff where I would be, oh, you should pick that up or pack that up. I mean, like, for example, I'll tell you right now, it's good luck finding this one. I got lucky, like, when I was in the 90s. It's, like, one of the only trade paperbacks I kept when I got rid of all my comics because it's impossible to find, which is the trade paperback for the Cosmic Spidey saga.
Cosmic Spider-Man, okay.
So, Captain Universe accidentally merges with Spider-Man, and he ends up where he can fly, and he's like, he ends up with like Superman, like he's like at the level of like where he like can whoop the whole no problem.
Okay.
And it's kind of pretty cool. It's
right.
actually because it's during this thing that they called Acts of Vengeance at the time, where all the different villains were supposed to switch up to take on other villains. The problem is, the people that they put originally on Spider-Man who they thought they would crush him, all of a sudden Spider-Man's like become this like uber powerful guy. So it's kind of crazy. I think that's when they bring in the Tri-Sentinel too, but we won't get into that. Yeah, there. Like I said, that's a good one. If you can find, obviously, Dark Knight Returns is really good, the original. Watchmen, if you can find it. Let's see what else. On the Marvel side, I would definitely say the original Civil War. Oh, Secret Wars, if you can find it, the original. Although I heard the more recent one wasn't bad either.
What's that one?
They did another Secret Wars?
They did like something called Secret War, and it was a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
House of M. House of M is probably pretty good. God bless you.
Thank you.
I don't know the X-Men stuff as well, but House of M I heard was good. If they have Judas Contract, definitely pick that up.
Oh.
All right.
So,
yeah, they closed the end of June, so I'm sure they're pretty well picked over. And I know a friend of mine who's been going there to get like discounts on like board games and stuff. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we played this new Talisman. Like Games Workshop has like Talisman. This is like one of their. I'm sure you've heard of it. But it's their big one. But they did like a more like adventure based like one, like an easy.
Right.
We played that last night for game night, and that was all right. It was okay.
Speaking of games, it was funny. I forgot to bring time. Did you hear about the Russo brothers' new project that they're working on for Netflix?
No.
Magic the Gathering.
A series?
Yeah, some sort of series or movies or something for Netflix.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, I don't know, they did that Warcraft movie, and it was like Here and Gone, and
right,
based on that, but you know.
But see, the thing about it is that when you play the game, there are like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different endings and sensibilities with the game. How are you going to try to compact that into 26 weeks worth of programming?
I don't know if it's going to be 26 weeks anyway.
No, most seasons aren't even like 10.
Yeah, it's like, I imagine 14 episodes a season. And I imagine it'll have, I'm curious what, in fairness, I have never read the Magic the Gathering books. I only know it from like when I played when I was a kid back in the 90s. So, and I know it's changed
90s.
Quite a bit. Yeah, the cough 90s. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, maybe, really in reality, when you got the Russo brothers involved and you got Netflix involved, if they do it right, maybe that brings Magic. I mean, it's not that Magic's been gone, but it's not like when we were kids and like ESPN2's running a Magic World Championships on TV, and you're like, wow, holy shit, really?
Yeah, well, it just, Magic the Gathering just went the way of the 45. It never really disappeared, but it kind of went underground and then, of course, this series might come back in, might make it this huge resurgence. Who knows?
Well,
I got D&D players over at the arcade playing on Sunday.
Yeah, if anything, and that's interesting. It's really interesting that face-to-face role-playing is coming back into vogue. That's amazing to me. I never imagined that would be the case, especially in a of MMOs and online games.
Yeah,
and online games, especially like online RPG games. In terms of like face-to-face online, I never imagined that face-to-face sit-down RPG would be anything other than you're hanging out with friends or something like that. I never imagined that this would come. My understanding is on the East Coast, you can on the East Coast there are people paying people to be dungeon masters. I'm like, shit, I'm in the wrong fucking part of town.
Yeah, I'm gonna quit my job. I'd quit my job to be a dungeon master. In fact, that's what for game nights. I'm the one who has to read the flavor text all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have traveled to the land of Farandar, and you meet Goldar the dragon, and he says to you, "I am the last one." I'm the one I asked, Mike, you read this. Like, I'm the one who has to read that all the time.
Yeah.
When we're gaming.
Well, I mean, the next time the 5.0 guys come in, guys and girls, I'll go ahead and kindly, if they don't mind doing a short video for us. I mean, put it on our site. I mean, just, see if they agree to it. Because, to see it is to believe it, man.
We'll just do a Facebook Live of you watching them, and then we'll share it to the Facebook page.
It's funny. Actually, that's the other thing. I'm not going, but this weekend is the Origins Game Fair in Columbus, which is kind of a big deal. They'll get about 15,000 that way. Every day, I think. Maybe it's bigger now. I don't know. But last I heard, they were 15,000 a day.
Yeah, and this weekend was E3, so the big gaming expo. So they're really revealing all these new video games that are coming out in the next year and a half, or whatever. I was like, I don't video game no more.
Pinball is going crazy with a whole lot of ideas. I mean, the rage in pinball has just seemed to get more and more. The ball just seems to keep rolling more and more.
I see what you did there.
Oh, wow.
And then, my friend Crystal Grammage, who is now in South Carolina, head tech, hey, good luck to you. And, so it's of course, to get out there and just the whole pinball experience now lining up, it's like the popularity between the video game and the pinball games are almost starting to match. I mean, it's crazy. There's, teams of people playing, pinball leagues and, the Bell and Chimes, all-girl pinball league, the Killer Queen people who are on the Killer Queen console we got at the arcade. Yeah, people are starting to interact with things like that, more and more as time goes on. It's really cool to see.
I remember the old days of going to Gen Con in Milwaukee, and they'd have the booths up where you could play like Battle Mech against other players. And
they still do. They still do an indie. They still have a lot of indie.
Yeah, that's the graphics were like super high, cutting edge for the time.
Let me tell you something. If you thought it was crazy back then, I hate to say, in some ways, I do miss going to Gen Con, but
yeah, I do too.
It's really turned. I mean, it really has become the convention that is getting closest to Comic-Con in terms of how insane it gets. First of all, they practically have taken almost every hotel in the city, downtown. And I mean, the games are everywhere. It's not like just that's in the convention center. It's not like back in the, it's like, okay, you're in the convention center, you can get to place the next within 15
it takes up several buildings.
Yeah. Well, forget buildings. One of the you could be in a game that literally it will take you 30 minutes to walk across to the other side of town.
Yeah.
To go away.
Yeah.
Depending on how fast or how slow you are. So I mean that's especially, and the other thing is that convention center is so huge. It could take you 10 minutes to get out of the convention center depending on where you're at.
So Gen Con has gotten big as Comic-Con.
Well, no, it's not there yet.
Do you think it's gotten too big for its britches now?
Well, the problem is that
it's bigger than the city. It seems like.
I mean, how big is too big?
Well, it's funny you say that. I had that conversation. I had that conversation 10 years ago with Peter Atkinson. And Peter Atkinson, for people who are not aware, Peter at the time was owner of Wizards of the Coast, and he had just sold Wizards to Hasbro, and they had bought Gen Con. So he's technically the owner of Gen Con. And we were talking about this just in general. We were talking on the just in general. And he's like, because I was like, we gotta get some. He's like, how many? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, at some point, And I'm like,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Jeff. You need to say that again. You're cutting out a bit.
I'm like, he's like, at some point it's going to get ridiculous, and we're going to have a lot of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and at the time I couldn't ever fathom or imagine that, because at the time they were getting 30,000 a day. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now they're getting double that a day. They're at like 60, 70,000 a day. Which here's the scary part. Here's the scary part.
Uh-huh.
You think that's a lot? San Diego gets 100,000 or better every.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of San Diego Comic-Con.
Isn't that the con?
San Diego? Yeah, it's still the big one.
Well, and it's, I will say this, and Mike knows where it's funny, I think I know, Mike, I gotta be honest, I'm curious to see, I mean, I don't think people are not gonna go. It's really interesting to see where it's gonna go in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because, I mean, and that's a vast amount of square footage for any one event to absorb in a 3-day period.
San Diego's crazy. San Diego, they don't even building. Like, I had a friend of mine, John Sutter, Balloon Podcast. He was at the library, and the library is a good 3 blocks away. All right, 3 or 4, like a couple of miles away. I mean, like, there are panels that it's like they're not even in the building. You have to go to other parts. They take over the city too. I mean, that's the only reason I mentioned that Indianapolis. That's the closest thing to Indianapolis right now with Gen Con is those city gets taken over. The city gets taken over. They're all over anything that they'll put stuff in. It's just nuts. And you know, but
yeah, we're coming up on maybe about a month and a half until San Diego Comic-Con. So.
Right. And I'm curious because I don't know if you saw, but I guess Warner Brothers. Now I'm assuming it's not TV. I'm assuming it's just the most
interesting. Yeah.
But they're not bringing any type of panel Warner Brother movies this year to
San Diego.
To San Diego.
Because Wonder Woman's not till next year.
Right. Well, it's not even just the Wonder Woman thing. In general, they're like, we're not coming.
Do you think that's just a snub, or or do you think
they just don't have any content?
Involved?
Right, or they just, quite frankly, are saving money, right? Which I can't blame them.
They're still restructuring. I mean, there's people who are going to have so many questions about what are you going to do about Aquaman 2?
Right. Well, and the other question. Well, here's where it gets interesting. The interesting question is, will Marvel and because with Disney's interesting because there have been a lot of times where they have not really done announcements at San Diego for their stuff. They've done that at D23, which is like the big Disney convention. That's like about a month or so later.
Yeah.
So to me, the question that's going to get interesting, and especially now that there's no more Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's no Warner Brothers. We don't know what Disney is going to put out, and don't know. Fox. And there's no Fox. What's left in movies? I mean, TV.
Well,
don't get me wrong. They'll be live, and WBTV will be there, and those, and maybe that's the nice part, which is those guys will get the spotlight. I don't know.
Yeah, CW.
But,
yeah.
Well, I figure maybe the big wigs decided, well, let's let the television division get in there and let them get some shine too.
Well, maybe Lucasfilm. Maybe we'll get another trailer for The Last Skywalker or Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
you could. That I guess. I mean that. But see, there's a perfect example. Okay, are you gonna put Star Wars stuff there, or are you gonna give it to your faithful who are gonna show up?
That's a toughie.
And here's the other question: when are the announcements about Phase 4? The announcement for Phase 4 is going to happen after Spider-Man. You know that a lot of the stuff Disney Plus is going to happen after Spider-Man.
Yeah. And they're filming Black Widow now, so they can't have a trailer ready.
Right. The question is, are they going to talk about any of that in San Diego? Are they going to wait until... Are they going to wait all the way to D23?
No, we'll see.
And to me, the only reason I say it's interesting is if the big...
Gesundheit, Ivan. Ivan
yeah,
is...
God bless you.
Man.
Thank you.
The only reason it's interesting to me, guys, if the big movie theaters, and when I say... if the big movie events in some ways are leaving San Diego, now it's great because I think the TV will get their time. But what's interesting is one of the things that's happened in the last decade or more is that people are like, oh yeah, there's comic books and comic book creators and stuff going on with comics.
And this will be the first Comic-Con since Stan Lee's passed away.
Well, that too. But it's interesting because, like I said, it'll be interesting because it's like, okay, what happened? Suddenly there are big movies in Hall H. Does it go back? Does it mean that maybe the comic creators and those get their time back?
Yeah.
To make it a comic convention?
Because there's this vacuum of lack of any news in the big Hollywood scene, so give the center stage to the actual comic book creators.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I doubt
it.
Yeah, so you're saying that Comic-Con is actually going back to the...
I don't think it will.
I know. It can't go back. At this point, it's too big. It can't go back.
Right. It's not going to go back, but I do think maybe they'll...
But do you think there'll be a more of a comic book presence and television presence in relation to, say, the guys doing movies right now, where okay, they're making them at such a rate now that do you think maybe just too much riding on what's going to happen in the future? Okay, interesting point on D23. Do you think it would be to their advantage to keep it till then? Is that more closer to release time?
Maybe. I mean, again, I don't know. They may have it mapped out where, okay, at San Diego, and this we're going to do. No.
Maybe they just do a soft. Do you think maybe they'll do a soft launch in San Diego and then do the big guns at D23?
Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, and that's the interesting part to me. I mean, here's the thing. I've had people who sat there and were like, I mean, I think that's a solid strategy. Yeah. Some people love going to because of exactly what it's turned into, which is it's about the shopping, it's about the crazy, it's about what you see.
About waiting in line.
The merchandising.
Yeah.
Major merchandising.
Oh, I got to get my Macho Man Slim Jim action figure.
Okay,
yeah.
Holy crap.
Seriously.
That's going to be a tough one, man.
How many knockoff products can I get and take home in one bag in one day?
Well, there are people who will pay a premium to have people wait in line in place of them, or they'll instead of having to try and get them on the websites after the convention, they can buy what's left over if there's anything overstock left over from San Diego. That's notorious for scalpers crashing websites when they go for sale.
I'll never forget when I was president of the game. I had exhibitors badges, and at the time, HeroClix was a hot game.
Yep,
I remember HeroClix.
And the hot item that was out there that was exclusive, and you could only get it at convention time, was the Galactus Click, which was huge.
Yeah.
And they sold that thing for $75. Okay, and online it was going for double or triple.
Yep.
And it was funny, we were talking about this in the game group. We're like, we need to figure out ways to raise funds. So I'm like, how much we got in the treasury? And they told me how much. I'm like, why? What are you thinking? I'm like, okay, so here's the plan. How many exhibitor badges do we got? Everybody's looking at me. Why are you asking these questions? What are you talking about? I'm like, well, we know that there's going to be a whole bunch of Galactic at Gen Con, and we have exhibitor badges, which means we can all get them, and we can get a whole bunch of people in line before it opens, and then we can buy a whole bunch of them and then sell them on eBay and make like another 75 to 100 off of them. Well, there, congratulations. How many can we buy?
Yeah.
And they all looked at me and were like, really? I'm like, what? You said we need to figure out a way to
strategy. That was a solid strategy.
I'm like, okay, this is the way to do it. Everybody's like, we're not doing it. I'm like, well, they were all afraid. The was they were all afraid that we were going to lose our exhibitor badge result. So everybody got freaked out because it's like that's not what they're used for. That's not what they're used for. And I'm like, yeah, they could be at that moment. I think we had I think you were only allowed to buy one.
Yeah, it was probably one of those. Probably like limit one per purchase.
Limit.
And sometimes they'll use a special hole punch and punch your badge, so you be sure you don't go back and buy another one.
But the thing was, and they only had a limited amount they had, so it was funny because I was like, I think we had 10 exhibitor badges, and I was like, dude, all we gotta do is buy 10 of them. That's what, $750? We could double the cost right there. Goodbye. Yeah. There's another $750 right there. I'm like,
no.
Nope. Everybody's like, no.
Yeah, there's, as far as I know, as of yet, there's no San Diego Comic-Con exclusives that are in the Transformers thing this year. So
the only other thing I've heard,
I'm only tempted by the Macho Man.
The only thing I've
a lot of
heard
potential for the Macho Man.
Yeah.
But why is that though, Mike? I mean, why is there not a bigger Transformer presence? It's because of the fact that the movies are now kind of far behind it, and it just
Hasbro is still there to show off their product.
Yeah,
but as far as exclusives go this year, they just haven't. They've kind of just toned that down. Hasbro's going to focus on, with the closing of Hasbro Toy Shop, they've reopened something called Hasbro Pulse, which are going to have their own, the rebranding of their online store, which they'll sell their stuff from after San Diego Go.
Okay, and now here's my other thought, with the whole world of Transformers, and in light of what happened with Bumblebee, I mean, your opinion on how Bumblebee did in the ratings? I mean, it
was well received, and it made the studio money, so they're going to continue with that formula. Hopefully, in that same universe, that's kind of like a soft reboot of the continuation of the live action storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Okay.
But
all right, because
they have more stuff in the works, and they have more online content, animated series or whatever, just to keep the kids. And Rescue Bots is still going on strong. So
I see. All right, because like I said, after the movie came out, I didn't hear much more about it. That's why I was asking.
The other thing is too, I know Hasbro has talked quite a bit about creating their extended universe where it's because it's
all tied
their
in
products
right.
where it's all tied in, like G.I. Joe
Mask.
and Micronauts and ROM.
They tried doing that in the IDW comics, and it didn't go over very well.
Yeah, well,
now IDW's hit the reboot button.
Yeah,
I mean, but is it because of lack of merchandise or just storyline or what?
Just lack of interest, I think. Most Transformer fans...
Basically, it just didn't generate?
I don't know. The G.I. Joe fandom's pretty much dead.
Oh.
Is it real? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an example of where syndication, the death of syndication has not been helped. Because in this day and age, you got... right now, who...
It's still Hasbro.
Want to. Right,
yeah.
but here's the thing, you need to get it on a network. You got to get it somewhere. Okay, who's picking it up? Where are they putting it on? That, quite frankly, they'd be interested.
Yeah, they used to have that thing called the Hub, where it was the collaboration between Discovery Channel and Hasbro, where they had their thing called the Hub, where they had their Hasbro properties,
Yeah.
But that fell through, and now Discovery Family is pretty much, close to nothing, really.
I mean, because here's the deal. That's where everything is at this point is all these companies want... I mean, they'll bring certain things in, but at the end of the day, they really want to have control over whatever it is that they bring in that they want the maximum amount of money. And so, really, in reality, shows like stuff like we used to remember as a kid, where it was like the the G.I. Joes, the Transformers. Even, I mean, in fairness, She-Ra, it seems to have found a home in Netflix. But,
yeah, and the She-Ra series is doing well. I think they're still, they might,
right.
They're still going to do that goofy-ass Thundercats redo.
I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah,
I didn't hear any more about it. Didn't we talk about that in a previous episode?
Yeah, many episodes ago, actually.
Yeah, long.
Maybe just didn't.
Yeah, long ago.
Very limited run. Speaking of limited runs, we have any other topics we want to touch upon before we head out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know if this is a wacky news topic or if this is a topic we cross here. Because apparently this is the latest where maybe we'll save this for the news. I think we can start the news of the square. Really fast, I think the only other thing I could had it. So I guess there's a Game of Thrones panel at whatchamacallit, at San Diego. They're going to do a last panel.
Okay, the question of that is why?
Like kind of a long
post-mortem.
Yeah, kind of thing. Well, but that's been done before. I mean, in fairness, I wouldn't mind seeing a post-mortem Avengers.
Oh yeah,
with them.
The Phase 3.
Right.
Yeah,
right, for Phase 3. I wouldn't mind seeing that. So I mean, the only thing I had a question on, okay, what petition will there be petitions to? That's all I'm curious about.
Yeah, I saw HBO had like a little documentary of the making of the last episode of Game of Thrones, like the last time, like Khaleesi put on her blonde wig, The
last time they had a coffee cup.
Yeah, exactly. A water bottle.
Yeah. Oh, how do we not talk about this? There was a Wonder Woman poster that came out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Really?
Oh yeah, I saw that poster.
Pretty
kind of wild.
Pretty 80s.
Really? Because all I keep thinking is Olivia Newton-John's going to show up and start singing Xanadu.
That's pretty crazy.
Make a move on me.
I swear to God.
Physical. I want to get physical.
No. And somebody's going to show up in like roller skates skating around. Xanadu. I don't know. I mean, it's just like... Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's way too, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just like, really?
It's kind of over the top here, man. It's kind of like, it's like something you would see in Studio, it's like something you would see in Studio 54. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's the other thing, too. This seems more, that's the other part, Ivan. It's Wonder Woman 80. Okay? Wonder Woman 84. Does this look really like 19?
No.
But at least it's practical armor.
Yeah. I mean, like somebody, like I was talking, she's like, well, but the shoulder pads. Yeah, there's that. And at least it looks like something you'd see very glam. And it is kind of glam. But I feel like what you just said, Ivan, it's funny, is the answer to what I've been looking at, which is I'm like, this seems like Studio 54, end of disco.
Exactly. It was more like an end of disco type of feel. Right. That's what I got from it.
Right. We haven't hit the Michael Jackson leather, red and black jacket phase yet.
Yeah, it's the whole, Lee Nail Charms, polyester, high-heeled sensibility, that whole... we're trucking. Keep on trucking, man. You're like, what the hell, man? You're like, what are we doing? I mean, if we're going way back, we went way back on this poster, man.
Okay.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean,
somebody missed the mark on that shit.
Well, it's not that you missed a mark. It's like to me, I'm like, okay. I remember. I mean, I was 1984 would put me at 12. Okay. I mean. Okay. I'm just thinking about this at 12. What was hot? Michael Jackson. Where's the where's the cool leather jacket? And
where's the loud colors? Where's the sparkle? Where's
They got that part. It just doesn't look. It looks too.
It should be more prominent to me. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks too disco versus.
It looks too disco for me, man.
Well, all will be revealed when the movie comes out.
I can walk up to Wonder Woman at that point and say, "Come on, let's go ahead and do the hustle."
Yeah, Studio 54.
Hustle was 70s, dude.
Yeah, well, but it looks 70s. It looks more 70s than it looks 80s.
Exactly, it looks very much 70s. That's what like I said. That's what I got.
I mean, I'm looking at it. It's like, okay, we're the Bee Gees.
Well, maybe it's
staying alive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's like, what, is John Travolta going to pick you up and do the strut too? Jeez.
More than a woman.
Yeah, really.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, I just feel like they're like 4 years they're supposed to be with this. I mean, it's like, I just remember like being a kid at that time. It was like by 84, we're talking, actually now I'm thinking about it, by 84, Madonna.
I mean, it was Madonna.
We're talking about
there was
Prince.
There was Prince. There was Madonna. There was Michael Jackson. There was Duran Duran.
Right. And why does none of this look like any of that?
No, Stacey Q. What? Debbie Gibson.
All will be revealed when the movie comes out.
Debbie Gibson's later.
I think you're reading too much into a single still photo for a movie that's not going to be out for an entire year.
Now, in fairness, Mike, I did give the premise that I'm sure it'll be fine. But my first reaction when I saw that was, I swear to God, I'm like, Olivia Newton-John come out and swing Xanadu behind her. Will there be like the roller skating, like ballet behind her?
Yeah, all the people roll bouncing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is, and it's funny. It's like everybody's like, why? No, trust me. That was I'm in this. What I said. It's like, it's funny. People are like, it's fine. I'm like, I didn't say it's not fine. Just tell me I'm wrong.
I'm just saying it's a little dated.
Right. I'm like, just tell me I'm wrong. We were with people who are like my age. I mean, I'm wrong. And they're like, well, you're not. And the funny is, they're telling me where all the fashion trends are right, except for the over-the-top gold. And then I'm like, but tell me, I'm like, so where's the pleather jacket? And they're like, yeah, okay. You gotta. I mean, especially
where's the number one accessory of those people wearing bodysuits? Where are the slouch socks?
Yeah, well, like I said, it was funny. I made a bunch of people laugh. I'm like, I'm expecting Jesus, and everybody was like, "That's cool." I'm like, "What? Tell me I'm wrong."
No, I have to agree with you there, Jeff.
It's like, I swear to God.
I mean, because we both came to the same conclusion, okay? So I know there's more than just us that aren't wrong about it. Okay?
No, and so the funny part is you know what happened is we're gonna be talking about this, and everybody gonna be like, "You're slamming on the movie," and like that's why Mike's silent. Mike's reaction has been 4 times. He's like, the movie comes in a year, it's just a poster.
Yeah,
and it's like,
fine. I'm not reading. I'm not worried about.
Oh no! I mean, it's not that we're it's not that we're putting it down. It's just this is what it appears to us.
I know it doesn't sing. It doesn't scream out 1984. I know that.
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. That's just the way. I mean, I know art is different to the eye of every beholder and all that jazz, but but I mean, you got to admit though, when you look at it and put it amongst other pop culture graphics of the day. Yeah, it doesn't quite stack up to 1980. Not in my opinion, but
Has Wonder Woman ever donned an armor similar to this?
It's funny you say that. I didn't really look.
Well, well, remember ISIS? There was ISIS.
That's not Wonder Woman.
No, that's not Wonder Woman. That's just ISIS. I'm talking about female.
The terrorist organization? No, I don't think they will allow that.
Yeah, no.
Okay. What's an idea?
No, I have to. There is like a a period where she's wearing like the white uniform or something like that. I don't remember.
I mean, Linda Carter to me will always be Wonder Woman, man.
Well, right. Well, no.
She's not the end all be all, but she did make a good Wonder Woman. Gotta say something about Linda Carter.
Oh, hey, hello. You know what? Gal Gadot ain't no slouch, baby. Woo.
Okay, and no slouch taken. Okay, I got you, man.
Actually, that's been the one question people keep asking has been, how come Linda Carter hasn't been... will Linda Carter be in the second movie? Because she wasn't in the first movie. Nor
was she in Justice League.
Was she in Justice League?
No, she was not.
Well, it's interesting, though, because she has been on Supergirl. She did a run on Supergirl where they made her president of the United States.
Right.
So it's not like they haven't given her things to do in the wonderful world of DC Comics in terms of TV, but it's been more TV than movies. So it's interesting that way. But yeah.
But wouldn't it be great that somewhere in maybe the next Wonder Woman movie she just happens to do, like not like a cameo, but more, I guess a walk-on of some sort. Relevant walk-on.
Well, pretty much, or even just like one line, just like they had Lou Ferrigno in the Hulk movie.
Yeah,
just like a little wink and a nod.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that happened. Although it's funny because we complain about that, but it's like, do we ever ask for that kind of stuff, like Batman, for like a Batman movie? Have we ever really about that for a Superman movie? I mean, I don't.
Well, I mean, everybody's got their favorite.
Well, we did get the cameo of the actress who played Lois Lane in the first Superman movie.
Yeah, that's true.
She was on the train.
True. That's
and
true.
Then of course, there are certain situations where cameos have happened. Maybe more than one cameo has happened in a superhero movie. Be it from the person who originated it or just someone that, you would relate it to with that person.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I apologize, Mike. Like, is there anything else? Yes, there is.
All right.
Well, this makes for great potting, guys. Come on.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing is, like I said, there was a story I was going to bring up here. We're going to bring it up on New Square instead.
And that will be available later this week.
Right. And I think that people, as soon as I bring this up, you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, this was more of a News of the Square story. Even though it's real. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start with. I don't even know why. Nobody understands. Well, okay. I've teased enough. Mike, where can they find us?
We are on the internet. We go on this place called the World Wide Web. We got one of those things. We're on the Facebook page. That's where we'll get some of these crazy news stories for News of the Squared. Shout out to Scott.
Yes, sir.
And
Scott.
We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on Podbean and Anchor. Download the free apps and you can listen for free. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You'll know when new episodes drop. And you can email us as well. We're on SOTRTpodcast@gmail.com.
Right.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's kind of do what we need to do and get that out of here. And
have a great
Slim
weekend.
Jim.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Do your groovy thing. Enjoy.
Yeah, go put on some Xanadu.
Xanadu. Xanadu. In Xanadu.
That's not how it goes.
Yes, it is.
That's not how it goes.
Oh, I don't care how it goes. I'm in the moment, man.
Yeah, I know.
And your moment is up. See you next week.
Have a good one, everybody.